آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته والسلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. First we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to remember Him or trying to remembering Him to seek His infinite pleasure. So with the majority of the people, either they have been misled by the shaitan, the nafs, or themselves, or their friends, and we are in danger all of the time. While we're living on this earth, we're in constant danger. Because there is no guarantee for us whether we're going to die with Iman. The way we are living today, we might have a beard, we might pray our salah, but there is no guarantee. If you look at the life of the shaitan, what happened to him? He used to worship Allah. He fought a war against the bad jinns, against the evil jinns. He was the head of the army at that time, so he did jihad. He learned knowledge, he had so much knowledge. Then he was taken up into the heavens. So we are living today thinking that we are saved. But there might be something that we might be doing in our lives that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might not like. And towards the end, we think we are safe, then that's the time where our iman might even be taken away from us. So nobody has the guarantee except the Prophets ﷺ. But also they were very fearful living in this world. The Prophets ﷺ, they were fearful. You can see from their lives, why would the Prophet ﷺ stand up in tahajjud for long periods until the ankles were swollen, the blessed ankles? Constantly worshipping Allah, constantly going out giving the message, no matter what happened to them. And some of the Prophets ﷺ were martyred. Some of the Prophets were martyred, alayhimus salam. So we should be very careful how we live our lives, day in day out, from first thing in the morning to last thing at night. Have we done something to hurt somebody? Have we defrauded somebody? Have we backbited somebody? Have we done things that would displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So every time during the day, as you come to that moment of your life, the day that is passing, then you should think in your mind, or you come across a situation, if I behave in this manner in front of this person, will Allah be happy with me, or will Allah be displeased with me? If Allah, or if the Prophet ﷺ was present at this moment in time, would the Prophet ﷺ be happy with me? The way I'm speaking, the way I'm dealing with things, or would the Prophet ﷺ be upset? And even bring your teacher, if I was in the presence of our beloved teacher, the way I'm behaving, would they be happy with me? Or would they be displeased with me? So this is a mindset that you need to alter, you need to change. Throughout your day, just think how you are with your family. Sometimes, the funny thing is that when we're outside, we come to the masjid, we meet the friends, we say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you, my brother? We give a big smile. So automatically the brother thinks, yeah, man, this brother is a good brother. So he just makes the assumption of, from that one salam and that one smile, that this brother is a good brother. And then when he's around the masjid, he's gentle, smiley, all this. And then when he goes home, he becomes like a lion, like a sher, shouting at his wife, shouting at his children, not helping around the house. So his behavior changes. So outside is salam, kalam, and in the home, outside is like a sheep, and at home he becomes a lion. But how you are outside, if you're good, smiley and everything, that should be the same conduct that you should have when you're at home as well. In between your wife, your children, your siblings, your parents. We get complaints all the time about children, about youngsters treating their parents very badly, speaking to them, shouting at them. When the food is made, they're not happy. They want more. They want something else. We're not happy with this. Make me something else right now. This is the conduct that they're having at home. The person who disrespects their parents is very clear. Our teacher mentioned this as well in one of the discourses. The person who disrespects their parents, they will not be successful in this world or the hereafter. You want to become pious, it starts from your parents. You make your parents happy, then the Prophet ﷺ will be happy. And when the Prophet ﷺ is happy, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be happy. Now you're going out, you have our hijabs, or we got our mama sharis, we got long beard, and then we want to reach Allah. We want the high status, the highest friendship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we're failing at the first hurdle. We're failing at the first hurdle. So it's not going to happen like this. And they mentioned that in the discourse, they said, look at the worldly people. You get these boxers or fighters, or they're in other fields of life. When they have the support of their parents, they become successful. You see a boxer and the trainer's his father. It's just, we're busy in our own lives, and we forget the most basic of things that that was taught to us by the Prophet ﷺ. And why the Prophets ﷺ, why they were so fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because they knew about Allah. They knew about Allah more than normal people. So when someone knows about the capabilities and the qualities, then they start fearing more, or they love that person more. But as many, we testify that we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's just words coming out of our mouth. It's just words, we're just speaking. There's no real conviction behind this. It's the same way, like, for example, when we're doing the prayers. When we did the prayers just now, how many of us were actually in the presence of Allah? Or were we just thinking of other things in our mind, just racing through, think about what you did throughout the day, or think about what he mentioned, if you're a football fan, about the match that's taking place currently. Were you thinking about that? What were you thinking about? This is what you need to really inspect yourself. You really need to think. You really need to reflect. After the prayers, after you've done your prayers, just really reflect. Where was I today in my prayer? Was I with Allah? If you're with Allah, alhamdulillah. But if you were with somebody else, whoever you was with, then you need to think to yourself, I don't want to make the same mistake again. I want to change that mistake. And how do I change that mistake? If you don't know, then ask. When we don't know something, what do? We always go to Sheikh Google. We always like Googling to find things on the internet. But when it comes to the most important thing of your life, which is the prayers, one of the most important things, the prayers and you failing or you're failing other things in regards to your iman has gone weak, but you don't want to ask anybody. You feel ashamed, you feel shy. That's the thing, because that relates to your hereafter. So that's the thing you should be asking. The worldly things you can do, Google or whatever you want to do. But for your hereafter, for your iman, for your motivation, you have lost motivation, you don't know what to do. Ask. That we have ustads with us in this gathering. Ask them. See your mentor, ask them, I don't know what's going on in my life and I feel demotivated, I can't connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please teach me. Because you're only going to get this opportunity to do something for Allah in this world while you're living. Allah doesn't need anything from us, but this is your opportunity to try and please Allah while you're living in this world. In the hereafter, for example, helping the poor. So you help the poor here for the pleasure of Allah. This is your opportunity to make Allah happy. But in Jannah, are there going to be any poor people? There's not going to be any poor. So you cannot make Allah happy in Jannah in that sense, that by helping the poor. You understand that now's your opportunity, like for example worship or dhikr. In Jannah you just be enjoying yourself, you're in full enjoyment. So now's your chance to make it, do something. This life is like a marathon. Yeah? It's not like a 100-meter race. If it finishes in 9 seconds or 8 seconds, it's like a marathon. And I heard, inshallah, the brothers are going to do the Hijrah one. I think that's the biggest marathon ever. It's like 339 miles. That's just amazing. So even if a person did the walk one day, divide 339 miles within 2 weeks, it comes equivalent to about 24 miles a day. That the Hijrah walk is. That's just amazing what the Prophet ﷺ did. So what I'm saying is that this world is like a marathon, a long marathon, or short marathon for some. Some will be 26.2 miles, and some will be 339 miles. But the point I'm trying to make is, as you're living in this world, do whatever you can. Don't lose hope in thinking that, okay, I've got a long life to live, I'll do it tomorrow. Every moment that you have, every day that you have, in Jannah, these are the things that people regret, not putting that extra effort in. That little bit of extra, that little push. So when you're doing a marathon, that extra step, yes, one more step, one more step, one more step. That extra push that you're going to push in this world for your hereafter. And these are the things that you will regret. These are the things that in the hereafter you'll say to Allah, oh Allah. Allah will say, are you happy, in paradise? Then person will go, Allah, please send us back into the world. We want to become shaheed. We want to become a martyr. Allah, we want to do extra worship. We want to do this. We want to do that. But that won't be available anymore. Now's your chance to do it. You don't have to constantly, recite from the tongue. Your mind can be in the presence of Allah. Your heart can be in the presence of Allah. So remaining silent as well, but being in the presence of Allah, that's zikr as well. Zikr isn't just done by the tongue. So you sat there not doing anything, just bring the thought, Allah is with me, Allah is watching me, Allah is hearing me. So this will become, your sitting in silence and you're not saying anything will become the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many of us testify that we love Allah, but it's just words. no real conviction. Now today we want to change this. We want to really change this and really focus with the presence of Allah. So whenever you're reciting the salah, whenever you're picking up the Quran, how many of us has picked up the Quran? Allah is trying to say something to us in the Quran, but how many of us has picked up this Quran? So now's the time to pick it up. You don't need to finish the whole chapter of the Quran. Just put a timer on, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then just recite the Quran, and then read the translation. What is Allah saying to me in the Quran? Allah is speaking to us. What is Allah actually saying to us? Then reflect on what Allah is saying to us. The next day, again, do the same. It's more easier than trying to finish the Quran in 30 days, because you'll fail. Even if for 10 minutes, just pick up the Quran on a daily basis, and you'll see changes happening in your life. These are solutions that you get in these gatherings, that these kind of changes will take place, and before you know it, you'll be fully connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala, as this month is, the Dhul Hijjah is coming to the end and the start of Muharram. And but alhamdulillah, for us, we don't really value the Islamic calendar. We don't, honestly, we don't. Because when it comes to December time, Christmas time and New Year's, everybody's, jumping around, buzzing in New Year's. What can we do? Where are we going today? Where are we going tonight? When it comes to our calendar, the Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar, we're not really interested. Some of us don't even know that it's Muharram. But if you valued it, you would know what happened in Muharram and the other months as well, the other blessed months as well. But really, as Muslims, we're quite lucky, to be honest, because the New Year's or Christmas falls are always in the cold weather. And ours just alternates between throughout the whole year. So now we're in July, and our Islamic calendar, the first month. So we should be more happy, to be honest, and we should follow the Islamic calendar more than the other calendar. So Imam Hussain showed us what real testimony is to Allah by being steadfast on the truth and not wavering when things went against him. Now inshallah we'll delve into the life of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala. So by sacrificing himself and his family for the truth, for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for who? For us, the ummah. What was that sacrifice for? For us, the ummah. So we benefit from the true teachings of Islam. There's a big sacrifice that was made. And then we get to learn, inshallah, today about how we can make our own sacrifices as well. So, before we start into the life of Imam Hussain, I just wanted to ask, in regards to do we know how, who the Khalifas were before, and how it came about, the story of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu? Does the brothers know here? If you raise your hands, if you know the story of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So only a few people, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm just going to briefly touch on it, and then inshallah we'll go into the life of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So after the Prophet ﷺ, the next Khalifa was Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And why the Khalifas and the Prophets, why do they come? To guide mankind, to connect them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show them the right path, show them what is right and what is wrong, and they want to benefit you. That's why they are here, to benefit you, so you end up in paradise. So after Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, it was Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala who was in charge of the Muslim Ummah. After that, it was Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala. And then after that, it was Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala. So after Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was shaheed, it was his son Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala. And because there was some conflict going on, Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala gave his, because he was in charge of 1/3 of the population or the areas in the world, 1/3 he was in charge of. But he happily gave it away for peace within the Muslim Ummah. So he gave it to Hazrat Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala. Now after Hazrat Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala he passed away, he passed it on to his son. And his son was called Yazid. And we'll go into the life of Yazid a little bit. And Yazid wasn't a good person. So he used to do the things, the wrong things that we think, oh, it's, very, enjoyable things. Like haram things, drinking, drugs, and other things like this. So obviously you can't have a person who's in charge of the Muslim Ummah doing things like this and trying to guide and connect the Ummah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu stood up to this and says, we won't allow this to happen. But before then, obviously the people of Kufa, which is based near Iraq or in Iraq, they wrote thousands of letters to Hazrat Imam Hussain, come and support us, we'll support you. And Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala went not to fight, but to guide the people and to even save the army of Yazid and Yazid himself. That not to make this mistake, not to oppress the people, not to kill people, and not to make this mistake. Anyway, then the great sacrifice took place. As Imam Hussein's family were all martyred, and he himself. So this is the brief story, but you should read up on it. There's more details to it than what I just mentioned, but this is just a brief story. Anyway, so to get to know Hazrat Imam Hussain, so we get to know the personality. Like for example, if you know a famous person, what do? We Google, who is he? Who is this famous personality? Or if you know somebody who plays football, or somebody who, whatever field is in, you like this person, you want to know more about him. So inshallah we'll get to know a little bit more about Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala. So Hazrat, blessed appearance, Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala was so beautiful that the new light from his blessed face would illuminate the surroundings, like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That the face was so beautiful and radiant. His blessed appearance had a unique resemblance with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is stated in the narration by Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala that Imam Hassan radiallahu ta'ala was identical with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the chest to head. So Hazrat Imam Hassan radiallahu ta'ala resembled the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the chest to the head. And Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala from the chest to the feet. And when the Prophet ﷺ left this world, then when the companions were missing the Prophet ﷺ, and when they would see Hazrat Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain walking together, this would quench their thirst of missing the Prophet ﷺ, because they resemble the Prophet ﷺ in such a manner. So one day Hazrat Imam Hassan radiallahu anhu, Imam Hussain, they were wrestling together. And the Prophet ﷺ was watching. They was just wrestling each other, how children do. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Hassan, hold Hussein. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying to Hassan, hold Hussein. Upon hearing this, Hazrat Fatima radiallahu ta'ala, who was the mother, says, Ya Rasulullah, you are helping Hassan when Hussein is younger. Says, you are helping Hassan, but you should be helping the younger one. And then Rasulullah replied, that Jibreel alayhi salam is helping Hussein radiallahu anhu. So you can see from a young age, even the angels were paying their due respect to Hazrat Imam Hassan and Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So the Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu was such a personality. Even one discourse is not enough. Even if you read about him, for the whole year, you'll find things that resemble the life of the Prophet ﷺ. His compassion, his kindness, his character. Imagine the grandfather is the Prophet ﷺ, the father is Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, the mother is Hazrat Fatima radiallahu anha. The blessed personalities. Imagine the character of Hazrat Imam Hassan and Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So one day he was riding his horse and he passed through Medina, and on the side street there was like beggars sat there and they were eating some food. And the beggars saw Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, they give salam, they saluted him. So he replied cheerfully with a happy face. So imagine like we walking and there's a homeless person and he says, all right mate. And we just quickly put our head down, walk past, he's going to be asking me for some money. You know what I mean? He's going to, so we just walk past. But here, Hazrat Imam Hussain, Assalamu alaikum. Then he got off his horse and he sat down with the beggars. And then the beggars said, why don't you eat with us? So he says, he politely explained to the beggars that he was from the house of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, it was forbidden for him to take anything that has been given in zakat or in alms. So not allowed to take from there. Had it not been forbidden, then he would have willingly shared the food. He would have ate with them. So what does he do? He invites all of the beggars to his house and he prepares them a meal and they eat happily in his house. So imagine the character. Imagine we're picking up a homeless guy and says, right, come to my house, I'll prepare a meal for you and you can eat. Bring your friends along. Is that going to happen in our lifetime? Maybe, maybe not. Some people do this. Well, they send them to the soup kitchen, and yeah, there's a soup kitchen there, and just go to the soup kitchen. But this was the character of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So now we're going to learn about some of the lessons from the life of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. So his life showed us the ultimate aim is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why we here? Why have we been created? We are here to make Allah happy. We have to do our tiny little bit, then Allah is going to make us happy forever in paradise. So to do business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is easy. Give something in this world. So, if you think of it logically, if you just think like, a person, he's living in this world, but he's only got a short space of time. And in that short space of time, he's giving up his hereafter. He's ruining his palaces. Would anybody like to give up their palaces? If they had a palace in this world, would they like to give it up? No, they wouldn't. So he's giving us not one palace, multiple palaces in the hereafter. And all of the other things, all of the beauty that comes, and all of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give, the company of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the company of Hazrat Imam Hassan, Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala, being with Allah, seeing Allah. But this person is giving all this. When you take the next drug, when you drink the next alcohol, when your eyes go towards the women, when you make the next fraud, when you're doing fraud, when you do all of these things, then think that in your hereafter all of these things are going. Your hereafter is being destroyed. So his life showed us the ultimate aim is the pleasure of Allah. So not world, not money, not family, or anything else. Just think, even your family won't be there for you. When they lower you in that grave, that's the end of you, that's the connection gone. Then you think they will pray for you afterwards? It's very rarely that happens. It does happen. And then you think on the day of judgment that they'll give you their good deeds to you. So don't sacrifice things, especially your hereafter for your family. Rather, get your family involved and save your hereafter as well. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this in the Quran. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَعَلَيْكُمْ نَارًا. Save yourself and your family from the fire of Jahannam. Don't just save yourself. If you're practicing, that's good, alhamdulillah. But what about your family members? After you save your family members, save your community. After you save your community, save the world. Save all of these people. We can't just sit at home and save ourselves because this won't be accepted. It is compulsory upon every believer to convey the message in whatever capacity that they can do. They have to do it. It's compulsory upon them to do it. So, as Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala mentions, why we say that Hazrat Imam Hussain is the winner is because if you lose everything in this world, if you lose everything but you have Allah, you're still a winner. If you lose your house, your cars, your family, but you have Allah in your life, you're still a winner. But if you lose Allah and you have all the other things, then you're not a winner. You've lost everything. You lose Allah, you lose everything. So if you look at people who are in higher positions like Pharaoh, Namrud and others, where are they now? They're gone. They were claiming to be gods. Where are they? Nobody cares about them. Nobody's bothered about them. And while as Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu passed away such a long time ago, and we're still remembering him. Why? Because he remembered Allah. He put Allah first before everything else. So, this lesson number 2 is he tried his best to keep the command of Allah dominant over all the commands. So, when we, in our lives, time for prayer. So, who are we going to listen to? Our friends say, oh, let's play football, or let's do cricket, or let's play games on the PS4, PS5. Let's do this, let's go out, let's miss our prayers, blah, blah, blah. Are we going to put Allah first, or are we going to put our friends first? So in your life you have to think, okay, how can we put the commands of Allah dominant over all the other commands? So Yazid was giving one command. Shaitan was giving another command. The nafs was giving one command. And people were giving other command. But he's put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. Why? Because if you keep Allah's command over everything, if you put Allah first, Allah can compensate you for everything that you have lost. So if you put Allah first, everything you have lost because you have put Allah first. So for example, you were in a job. You have to pay your salah. Now your manager say you can't pay your salah. Sorry, by, you want the job or not? She said, fine, I'm going to put Allah first. And when you give up something for Allah's sake, Allah will give you something better in return. Guaranteed, 100%. So don't worry about, remember who is giving you the money, who is giving you the rizq. Always, if you rely upon Allah, you ask Allah for help first, Allah will always make a way. Allah will always make a way. But there is a story, while we're on the subject of prayers, that there was a person that I know. He used to work in the city center. He used to work in a shop. And then what happened was, he got the job, but the employee said, well, you can't praise Allah here because there's nowhere to praise Allah. The shop was quite small. So anyway, he says to him, I'm not taking the job then. So as he was walking out, the owner's chasing him. Where are you going? No. Yeah, I like you, I like your personality. You fit for the job. Just take the job. Sorry, I'm not taking the job because I can't pray my salah anywhere. This is when you work in a shop, you want honest people, you know what I mean? And as soon as he said this, he realized that this person is an honest guy. He's not willing to give up his prayer for the job, and he needs the job. He was quite desperate for the job. So anyway, he says, okay, fine, yeah, I'll take you to somewhere else. There was another clothing shop there. And the man was struggling himself in the city center. It was a small company. He was struggling himself. So he says to him, could this person praise Allah in your changing room or something? He had a very small changing room, enough to just fit one person in. And he only had one changing room. So he says, yeah, fine, you can go inside, in the changing room. But the thing is, it's so small, and if you put your musalla down and it faces the direction of the Qibla, because that's the space that was there, only one musalla that could just barely fit at an angle, at a certain angle. So if it goes that way, then he can, by all means, utilize my changing room. So anyway, so they got the compass out and they checked, and lo and behold, it was exactly in that same direction. So the brother kept on praying salah, and what happened was, this person who was struggling with who had the clothing shop, he applied for a better position in the city center, where he knew he could make a lot of money. But because he was such a small one-man band, one-man army, one-man business, a small person, in the business world, and there were other people, bigger businesses that were applying for that same spot. So he thought, I've applied for it, but I'm not going to get it. But Allah SWT made a way for him, and he got that place. And then he started making a lot of money. So how he helped the person who needed to pray, and Allah expanded his business and gave him something better in return. So don't ever think that when obeying the commands of Allah that you will lose out. You'll never lose out. You always get something better in return. So lesson number 3 from Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, lifestyle. There are many ways and versions you can live your life. Every country has their own culture. Every culture has different standards. Every religion has their own ways. And there's the evil people. They want to live the way they want to live. The lifestyle of the nafs, the shaitanic and the ego, and the gangster lifestyle. So these are all different kinds of lifestyle. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes the lifestyle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that if you love me, then follow me. So if you love Allah, then follow me. So Allah likes the lifestyle, the character, his way he's dealing, family, people, how he conduct himself towards animals as well. So all of these things is, so if you want to make Allah happy, then adopt the lifestyle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't be content with anything else. So you can read about the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and bring that into your life. So there's every single aspect of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you can, and the companions as well. Read into the life of the companions and see how they dealt with certain situations that you might be going through in your life. The problems that occurred, they went through similar problems. You know, so if you're a businessman, you can find a companion, or even the Prophet ﷺ was a business, how they conducted business. If you're a family man, so forth. So there's so many different examples in the life of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. So we want the best things for us. We want the best car, the best house, the best food. Why not have the best level of Iman? The best character. Because these things will last forever, while the other things won't. They'll just disappear in this world. You're hoarding up your wealth, your houses. Who will the houses go to? It won't be yours. It'll go to somebody else. So lesson number 4 is compassionate, merciful and helpful. It is to be compassionate, considerate, merciful, helpful, creating ease for the creation. And that was the main reason why Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anh left Madinatul Munawwara to go to Kufa. Did he want to leave the Prophet ﷺ? He didn't want to. So why did he go to Kufa? Because he was having that compassion, because they wrote letters to him. And not only that, he wanted to save the army of Yazid from doing something that is going to ruin that hereafter as well. But we find when somebody asks for our help, we find it very, very difficult. We find it very difficult to help them. When we have time, we make an excuse. Sorry, brother, I'm busy. I've got things to do. You know, so this is us. But the more you help the people, the more you help somebody, Allah will help you in your own life. Always remember that. So when you helping people, you're not doing a favor upon them, rather they are doing a favor upon you. So you need to change your mindset that they or Allah's created an opportunity for me to help this person, so He's making my hereafter better for me. The hereafter, He's making mine better. Not when somebody knocks on your door or somebody asks for something, or somebody's saying, I need some advice. We even so stingy of even giving advice. Brother, I don't have time at the moment. Or, for example, if we have a certain business, we're running it and we're successful, and somebody says, brother, you know, could you help me? I want to set up something like yours. A business like yours, can you help me? The first thing, you know, if I tell him the secrets, I'm going to lose out. Why should I tell him? Rather, he's not thinking that if he helped him, Allah would increase him in his own business, because Allah is the Razak, Allah is the one who gives. So Allah would give him more. Allah would give him more barakah in his business, but no, he's not doing it. While if you look at the life of the companions, you can see today, you know, this was from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can see when you go to Makkah, Medina, that you'll see that there's date shops right next to each other. One are perfume shops right next to each other. Even at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companions, you know, one person went to buy some dates from a companion, and he says, he gives him the money, and then he closes his shop. And he was surprised, you know, you're doing so well, why are you closing your shop for? He says, I've earned enough for me and my family for the day. I want my brother to have some. I want my brother to earn some money as well. So he closes, why we just take, want more of the dunya, more of the dunya. And this is what ruined Yazid. You know, Yazid, he used to fight in the wars with Hazrat Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain side by side. What destroyed him was he started getting power, money, wealth, and this is what destroyed him. And we have to think in our life, the power, the money, the wealth, the position that we are getting, is this a trick from the shaitan? Is this a trick that the shaitan is just waiting till you reach a certain position and then puts pride in your heart, arrogance, looking down upon people? I'm a professional, I earn this much money, have a fast car, have a nice house. Who are you looking down upon people? These things can happen. It can happen. So nobody's safe. So it can happen. So we have to be very careful. So lesson number 5, the mindset of Hazrat Imam Hussain. Why was he able to do this? Because his idea of life was different. He knew that where we had come from, the world of the spirits, then we are in this world. Why are we in this world? And he knew the hereafter. So this journey of man that we keep on telling people, but they tend to ignore all of these things. They tend to ignore. If your mindset was strong on just the journey of man itself, where you came from, where you are today, and where you're going to end up. Only these 3 concepts, if you made this stronger in your mind, you would give up all your sins. Is then you realize that you're not here forever. You're going to die one day. And death is not like you have to be old to die. You don't have to be. Death can come any minute, any second now. There was recently, a couple of weeks back, there was a young man, there's a gathering at his house on a Thursday night. There's a zikr gathering, and then he goes to sleep and he doesn't wake up, he passes away. Or he's in his 40s. So if you go to the graveyard as well, you can see the different ages of people passing away. And you will be in that age group. You will be in that age group. If you look, you'll see you're in that age group as well. So you don't know when you're going to pass, so don't waste your life on social media, flicking through TikTok, constantly Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, hours and hours just looking at these shorts, YouTube shorts, just looking at these shorts and wasting 2, 3 hours, 4 hours. I can see people do that all the time. Don't waste your life like that. Because your life, one day you might be watching these shorts and boom, the angel of death will come and say, okay, it's your turn to go. So don't waste your life. So the mindset of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala, he knew that we have to go to the next life. So in the course of purification, we are taught to refrain from all of these things, the sins of the organs, the mind, the heart, the nafs. But Hazrat Imam Hussain gave the extreme example in Karbala. He said, my hands can be cut, but they will not disobey Allah. My eyes and ears and head was cut, but not disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My feet will be cut, but it won't disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Horses trampled over his stomach, but unlawful food did not enter his stomach. Yazid was offering him millions, but he said no. He said no. No speck of haram will enter me. No speck of it, even if the horses are trampling all over his body. So the 7 organs we have, if you use this correctly, we will find peace in this life. And if you don't, then it's like hell on earth. We are all looking for peace. People are looking for peace everywhere.
the celebrities, the professionals, the politicians. Everybody's looking for peace. The normal people looking for peace. But Allah mentions where the peace is in the Quran. Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. In the remembrance of Allah, hearts will find peace. This is where your peace is. Peace isn't in money, in status, in education. Peace is nowhere apart from in the remembrance of Allah. So when people get anxieties, they have depression, all of these things, why does this happen? Because they are not remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today we don't need to feel sorry for Hazrat Imam Hussain. Because when a shaheed is killed, when the shaheed is martyred, then no pain is felt except, like for example, an ant stings somebody, or a thorn pricks on, or a small injection. That's how they feel. Rather, when somebody dies on his deathbed, he's in more pain than the person who's been martyred. So these were some of the lessons from, there's so much to still go through, but I'll just mention some of the bad qualities of Yazid so that we don't fall into that trap of Yazid as well, and then inshallah I'll finish. So some of the bad qualities of Yazid was laziness, and this was seen by Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin radiallahu ta'ala. The music, dancing and entertainment, gambling, not performing the sunnah, or when you get an opportunity to perform the sunnah, you don't do it. Women not wearing hijab. And some of the qualities that Yazid had was laziness and delaying prayer, fraud, giving false information in order to receive benefits, alcohol, obsession with the opposite gender, and unlawful interactions. So these are some of the bad qualities that they had. So we should think, do we have these qualities in our life? And inshallah, I just want to talk about a little bit about Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin radiallahu anhu. So after the event took place, after everything had taken place, and Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu and all the family members were martyred, so Mukhtar Sakfi and Malik Ashtar gathered an army and killed many people who took part in Karbala. So Ibn Ziyad, who was the governor of Kufa at that time, who unleashed the army on Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, he was killed. And Shimar, who did the deed, he was killed. And the other people that were still alive, they all got killed. Actually, Ibn Ziyad wasn't killed at that time, but what happened was, he ran away. So Ibn Ziyad has run away now. So he was the main guy who killed. He ordered the family of Imam Hussain to be killed. Anyway, he wasn't, at the moment he wasn't killed. So he ran away on his horse, and he was very thirsty. So he went past a tent. Imagine there's a tent, and there's a person inside the tent. So he says to the man, "Could you give me 3 bowls of water?" So the man gave him 1 bowl, and he drinks it. And he gives him the 2nd bowl, and he drinks it. And he gives him the 3rd bowl, and he drinks it. Now he's satisfied. And this person, this evil person who unleashed the army upon Hazrat Imam Hussain and the family, was satisfied and thanked him. And then he says, "I think you don't know me." He says to the man who's giving him the water, "I don't think you know me. I am Ibn Ziyad." The man began to cry and says, "I know who you are." but I am Ali Zainul Abidin, the son of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. Even though he knew that this person, because Hazrat Zainul Abidin had survived the slaughter at that time because he was ill and he was kept safe in a tent. He survived, but he knew who did kill his family. You know. So now he's giving him water even though he knew that this person had killed his entire family. Imagine now. I am Zainul Abidin, the son of Imam Hussain. How can I forget my father? Ibn Ziyad said, you should have killed me. I'm running for my life. Imagine what we would have done in that situation. We would have probably took his head apart from his body. And I was the one who commanded no water should be given at Karbala, and your family died, and you have given me 3 bowls of water. Then his reply was, whatever you did, this is Imam Zainul Abidin replying, whatever you did was the tradition of your family. What I did was the tradition of mine and my forefathers and their teachings. My father Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his grandfather. Imagine the character. This is what I'm trying to put into our minds, that look, this character is there as an example for us to follow. You know, we have somebody there, their lifestyle, their life story is there for us to follow on how they dealt with people. Today, somebody annoys us a little bit and we just start shouting at them, screaming at them, or even punching them. We can't even control our anger. So he says, it's nothing to do with you. Then he says, I don't want to kill you. May Allah deal with you however He sees fit. From here you can go. So he let him go. And then who comes into the tent? The 2 people, Muqtar Sakfi and Malik Ashtar, the one who killed the people who killed the family of Imam Hussain. So they had their army now, ready to kill everybody who was involved. So they came in and they kissed his hand and said, we are taking revenge for you, for what happened to your family. He says, may Allah reward you. Nor they asked, and he didn't say anything. Imagine the enemy is there, he's just gone. He could have just told them, oh, he's there, the enemy. He didn't say nothing. As Imam Zainul Abidin, he didn't say anything. He didn't even say that he'd come into the tent, asked for some water, and he's gone. Nothing. So he saved his life. The worst enemy, and he saved his life. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala firstly amend my ways and my lifestyle, because this is an example for us to follow. And inshallah may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable all of us to follow the lifestyle of the Prophet sallallahu Hazrat Imam Hassan, Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala, and Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin radiallahu ta'ala. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Now the time has come for ourselves to decide which camp are we going to fall into. The camp of Yazid or the camp of Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. Whose side are we on in this war? You might think the battle is finished, but the war is still going. The war between good and evil, the war against shaitan is still going. The question is, where do you fit in this war? Whose camp are you in? And I can tell you this right now, which camp you're in. If you're living a life like the life of Yazid, where you're out at night partying, where you're out at night drinking, womanizing, you're doing fraud, you're harming people, then know you are in the camp of Yazid. But if that's not what you're doing and you're following the Sunnah, know that you're in the camp of Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. But the question is for those who are struggling, how do you get to that camp? How do you go and maneuver and navigate through this battle and get to the camp of Imam Hussain and get onto the right side of this war? Well, we teach a path here, how you can dress yourself in the armor of the Sunnah and you can defend yourself from the spears and arrows of shaitan. So if you're someone who wants to become that spiritual warrior at your own capacity, and on the day of judgment become a prince or a princess like Imam Hussain, they were already promised that they're going to be princes of Jannah. But we are not promised this. We do not know. But ask yourself on the day of judgment, who do you want to be standing with? Imam Hussain radiallahu anh, or do you want to be standing with Yazid? And if it is with Imam Hussain, then we teach a path here how you can be there on the day of judgment with them. So if you see myself afterwards, then I can direct you to the brothers who can show you that path, and you can start that path and you can start fighting on the right side. This is not the time to be defensive anymore and saying, why is this happening to me? This is the time to go on the offensive. And instead of shaitan attacking us, it's time we attack shaitan and take control of ourselves. So if you're struggling with something more difficult and you think, I can't do it, I'm struggling, how do I make this move? I don't know how to make this move. Then you can even have one-to-one consultations. We have ustadhs here who can speak to you on a one-to-one basis and show you how you can. They will pull you out of that camp. If you're in that camp, they will pull you out and take you. If you can't do it yourself, they will pull you out of that camp. They will pull you out of that sin and help you to start your journey to the right way. So if you're struggling, there's support here. Come see myself and you can put your name down, see those stars. And if anybody has come for healing or having any problems in terms of any jinn problems, any other problems like this, any spiritual problems, any physical health problems, and also we have ustadhs who can cater for those needs, come to the front and I can direct you to the correct person. Now just before we go into the dhikr, I just want to make a short announcement. Inshallah, next week, for the young brothers here, there's a way you can have fun and earn reward. And for the elders here who think they're young, 40 plus I'm speaking to, next week we have a football tournament. And why you're going to get rewarded for playing in this football tournament is because it's for a good charitable cause. Alhamdulillah, we have purchased a building here for the purpose of education. Now you see how we are bombarded with so many temptations and desires. It's a very scary thing, is what's going to happen to our children. You know, what kind of education are they in? How are we tackling the issues that are occurring? And we all know, I don't need to go into specifics, but we know what kind of battles now our young children are facing, our young teenagers are facing. And this center here is to help build the people, build their characteristics, build their iman, so when they're out in the battlefield, they can protect themselves. So while you come to this football tournament and just participating and having fun, in fact, you're helping us build this building and provide these facilities so the youngsters, the new generation that are coming, they can also be equipped for this war that we are in. So it's on Sunday, 14th of July, and it starts at 11. It's a five-a-side tournament. Now, if you're 40 plus, I will say bring DP and first aid. And if you're younger, do bring your shin pads because there is some very, very aggressive players here. I've played with them. But inshallah, do come. It'll be fun. And inshallah, and if you can't play, you can still come. There'll be food stalls there. There'll be a lot of things there. You can even cheer your team on. At least you can do that much and participate that way. I'm sure there's a few people who do want to play, but the joints are a bit rusty. So we wouldn't want you to injure yourself and harm yourself. So, but please do, at whatever capacity you can come and help, please do come. And I think that you can see the video there is being played. So inshallah, once again, please make an effort to come, and if you can't play, then come and support your team. So now inshallah, we're going to start the dhikr session. So before we just like you all to stand up, let a bit of blood run through your legs, and come forward as well. So as people sit at the back, they can sit forward. And inshallah, we will begin the dhikr session. So if everyone could come forward and please make a nice and neat semicircle so you can keep the order how they were sat. So once again, we can refresh our intention that we're here in order for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a loud zikr session. So you will also participate, and when the ustad is reciting, you'll also recite with them. And know that this is a time between you and Allah Ta'ala to connect to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. Whatever difficulty you're going through, whatever hardship you're going through, this is a time for you to express that to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala and ask Allah Ta'ala to really help you and guide you. So don't just recite the dhikr with your tongue, but also recite it with your heart and really connect to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. So inshallah, without further ado, we will start with the dhikr session. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يقل له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يقل يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من قرب ومن عجم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. والحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته. والحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل هول من الأهوال مقتحم. لكل هول من الأهوال مقتحم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا. مولاي صل السلام عليك يا شفيع المذنبين السلام عليك يا شفيع المذنبين صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد 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 السلام عليك يا جد حسن والحسين السلام عليك يا جد حسن والحسين صلى الله على صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله إله إلا الله لا حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله حسبي ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله إلا لا إلا الله 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 لا مقصود إلا الله لا مقصود إلا الله لا مقصود إلا الله لا مقصود لا إلا الله 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 لا مسجود إلا الله لا مسجود إلا الله لا مسجود إلا الله لا مسجود إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله إلا إلا الله إلا الله أنت المولى أنت الحق ليس المولى إلا هو أنت المولى أنت الحق ليس المولى إلا هو الله 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 أنت الناصر أنت الحق ليس الناصر إلا هو أنت الناصر أنت الحق ليس الناصر إلا هو الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. حسبنا الله 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 ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش المجيد. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. 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 أستغفر الله
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 الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم
الحي القيوم
وأتوب إليه
وأتوب إليه.
أستغفر الله
أستغفر الله
الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم
الحي القيوم
وأتوب إليه
وأتوب إليه.
اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا
محمد
وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه मैं गुजारिश करूँगा हाजी गुलफाम साहब से कि शिराज भाई के कज़न के लिए और मज़र भाई के नेफ्यू फैज़ान के लिए और दूसरी उम्मत के लिए दुआ कर साहब करें.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا رحمن في الدنيا والآخرة يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, we beg of you with the seal of your blessed names that you have received. We have received from your blessed friends the blessed names that you have revealed in the books to your prophets, especially to your Prophet ﷺ, and even those names that only you know, Ya Rabbal Alameen, with their wasila. Ya Allah, we ask for you to forgive us, grant us your maghfirah, your rahmah, your fazl, your mercy, Ya Rabbal Alameen, upon all our family, all our relatives, all the ummah of your beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, please accept any good we have done. Ya Allah, beautify it from yourself, because really it is not worthy of being presented in your blessed presence. Ya Allah, send it as a gift in the barakah of your beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Raise their status with every moment. Send our salam in their blessed presence with their wasila, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Send the reward to all the prophets and their ummahs, the blessed parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the Sahaba, all the Ahlul Bayt, especially Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, who left this world month of Muharram, and the Shuhada Karbala, Bil Hussain, Sayyidina Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala, and all the Shuhada, all the Tabaeen, all the Mashaykhs of all the Turks, especially our Master Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbagh rahmatullahi, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jalani rahmatullahi, and all the Mashaykhs of all the Turks, Naqshbandiya, Chishtiya, Sarwardiya, Shazaliya, every one of them. Allah raise their status, send our salam and their blessed presence, and especially to our Master, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, grant them a long life, Ya Allah, with the best of health, Ya Rabbal Alameen, complete shifa from all their illnesses and their pains. With our wasila, Ya Allah, send the reward to all the Muslims who are alive, out of the humans and the jinnahs, and all those who have passed away out of our relatives, especially the cousin of Brother Shiraz, who passed away in Pakistan, and all the Muslims, Ya Allah, who died today as well, even the brother who died in Bolton and was buried, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, grant them all the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ and the pious and righteous. Ya Allah, make their graves gardens of paradise, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Any Muslims, Ya Allah, who are suffering in the grave, Ya Allah, remove their punishments. And when we pass away, Ya Allah, save us from the punishments of the grave also, and from the pangs of the day of resurrection, and from the hellfire. Ya Allah, grant us all the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ and the highest maqam in Jannah, Ya Rabbal Alameen. The company of the Prophet ﷺ and our Mashaykh forever, eternally, and eternally become pleased with us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, grant shifa to all the Muslims who are ill in the homes and the hospitals, especially our brother Faizan who is in hospital. Ya Allah, grant them complete shifa, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, make their illnesses a means for purification and for becoming close to you, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, keep us all alive with Islam and take our lives with Iman. Ya Allah, help the Muslims who are suffering in the world, the Muslims in Palestine, in Kashmir, in Pakistan, in Africa, Syria, Yemen, wherever they are. Ya Allah, help them. Ya Allah, forgive us for not being able to help them the way we should, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, grant them help from you, from the unseen. Grant them the best rulers who can serve them and protect them, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, protect us from the shaitan and his plans. Protect us from the evil of our nafs, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, purify us, our intentions, our organs, our minds, our hearts and souls, so we can return to you in a purified state, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, remove all the difficulties for anybody who's going through any difficulties, any problems, Ya Allah, anybody who has got some needs, Ya Allah, fulfill them, whatever is good for them in your knowledge, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, those whose parents are alive, Ya Allah, grant them a long life and allow their children to appreciate and serve them while they are alive. Ya Rabbal Alameen, make everybody's children pious, Ya Allah. Save them from the evil of the society and the evil of the people around them, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, Ya Allah, we are your simple servants, Ya Allah. They are pious people in this majlis, Ya Allah. They are elderly people, young people. Ya Allah, with their wasilah, Ya Rabbal Alameen, shower your mercy upon all of us. Forgive all of us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Whatever good your Prophet ﷺ asked for, we also ask for a share of that. And whatever they seek refuge in, Ya Rabbal Alameen, we also seek refuge in you. Allahumma Ya Rabbi bijahi Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ijma' bayni wa bayna Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah fi dunya qabla al-akhirah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.